We've made millions of dollars in revenue over the last couple of years, but we've made a lot of mistakes getting there. These mistakes have cost us a lot of time and even more money. But in today's episode, we want to help you get to generating millions of dollars in revenue every single year while avoiding the critical mistakes that we've made. What's the thing that we want people to avoid in going from zero to millions of dollars a year in revenue? You want to remove non-revenue generating activity. So anything that is not helping you produce revenue, you want to remove off of your plate. In this episode, we're going to break down some of the biggest mistakes that we've made on our journey to millions. And be sure to watch until the end because we're going to give you guys some key tips that's going to help you put millions of dollars into your pocket. Let's get exposed. Welcome to another edition of the Expose and Expand podcast show. I'm the man with the plan, Jeremy Mathis. I'm Joshua. I'm going to give you the game, Mathis, and welcome to another edition of the Expose and Expand podcast show, where we expose you to the ideas, the strategies, the struggles, the failures, the people, and the experiences that have gotten us from zero to millions. Growing your business from zero to millions of dollars per year consistently in revenue is way easier than you think. Josh and I actually hustled our way from zero to millions of dollars per year in revenue, but we don't want that for you. In today's episode, we want to expose you to the things that you need to avoid, all of the mistakes that we made in going from $0 in revenue to millions of dollars per year in revenue. After watching this entire episode, you will know all of the mistakes that you need to avoid and the things that you need to do so that you can build a business that lasts and a business that gives you freedom. Let's get exposed. So guys, I don't know if we can give you all the mistakes we made because we made a lot going from zero to millions, but we're going to try to give you guys a lot of the mistakes and so that you guys can avoid it. But before we get started, as always, we would greatly appreciate if you guys show us love and help us to continue to grow the show. We ask that you guys hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're listening on any of the podcast players, hit that follow button and please leave us a 5-star review and be sure to expose somebody else to this episode. Yes. So guys, I want to make it very clear. So what we are talking about today is going from zero to consistently doing millions of dollars in revenue year after year after year. Fortunately enough for Josh and I, we've been able to do that over the last 5 years of where we've reached over $1 million per year in revenue, and we've made a lot of mistakes in doing that, and we want to help you avoid all of those mistakes as you go from zero to consistently hitting millions of dollars. And even before, and I want to guys make this clear, yes, millions in revenue, but more importantly, you run a profitable business. Yes. Right? So guys, let's make that clear. One, the things that's going to help you get to those millions, but you want to get to millions profitably. Yes. And one thing that we forgot, man, we haven't been doing is, we forgot about money. You know, money is our bonsai tree that sits here with us every single episode. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll definitely be able to see money. So get that boy a shout out. But again, today is just avoiding all of the mistakes, and it's just basically a list of things that we want you guys to know. And the very first thing that we want to talk about that you need to avoid, that we did not avoid, is you need to make sure that you focus. Focus is critical in going from zero to $1 million consistently per year in revenue. And when I say focus, that means different things. Focus meaning know what you're really good at and focus on that thing right there. Meaning if you have a real estate investment business like Josh and I, if you are good at wholesaling, wholesale your way to $1 million. If you are fixing and flip your way to $1 million in revenue and focus specifically on that. Get good at that one thing. That's one level of focus. The other level of focus is if you're doing real estate, do real estate. Don't be doing real estate. Then you also I got a notary business, and then I got a car rental business, and I got this other business. Guys, focus is critical. It is critical in going from zero to millions of dollars in revenue. And I just gave you 2 different examples of what we mean when we say focus. So one, and guys, if you've listened to us in the past and you've listened to past episodes, this is something that we've harped on time and time again. This has been a struggle of ours, and it's been somewhat of a hint that it held us back from making even more money and being more quote unquote successful when it comes to, I guess, from the financial standpoint, is because we had our attention everywhere. We're chasing too many rabbits. So guys, learn from our mistakes and lock in and focus on one thing until you make millions of dollars. Don't look left, don't look right. put your head down, put the blinders on, and focus on that one thing. Something that really helped me understand as me and Josh was going through our battles and going consistently hitting $1 million a year in revenue, but doing it in such a way where we didn't really have the time freedom that we wanted, and we were banging our head against the wall, was when I heard a good buddy of mine. He said, the guy that chases 2 rabbits catches none. The guy that chases 2 rabbits doesn't catch any at all. And for the longest, Josh and I, we focused on chasing so many rabbits and we never caught any of them. And that's what's going to happen to you if you don't focus on going and doing what you're really good at and going from 0 to millions. When it comes to from a focus perspective, what do you think? How did our lack of focus in business affect us personally? It affected us because I touched on it. It affected us because we were all over the place. We didn't have mental clarity because we're focusing on wholesale deals, we're focusing on fix and flip deals, we're focusing on trying to get crypto up and going, and we have so many things that we're juggling. We're not able to just lock in on one thing and get really good at that one thing. Everybody, we said this on many episodes. People that have made billions of dollars, they did it focusing on one thing. And me and you was crypto, wholesaling, fixing and flipping, trucking company, this bad investment, that bad investment. So we never had the mental clarity, and I think that's how it affected us in business. Yeah. What would you say? What would your answer be to that question? No, I said more so personally, it affected our families as well, right? Because we're not focused in business, we're not able to make the money that we know we should be making, and our families in turn suffer because we're chasing all these rabbits, which means that we don't really have time to spend with them, number one. And when we're away, I can see, okay, if we was away and we was making money, but we was away and we still was broke. Yeah. We was away and we was still broke, you know, but then when we locked back in, we started focusing, things started to change. By no means where we want to be, but when you see the focus, we see what has happened in our life. Nah, for real. So that was a good point. What's step number 2, or what's the second thing that we want people to avoid in going from 0 to millions of dollars a year in revenue? Another thing that I would say that we want you guys to avoid is removing what we call NRGA. NRGA. Thank you. NRGA. Sorry, guys. NRGA. And that's NRGA stands for non-revenue generating activities. You want to remove non-revenue generating activity. So anything that is not helping you produce revenue, you want to move. You want to remove off of your plate. So as you start growing, your only focus should be on sales. Your only focus should be driving revenue to the business. Now there are other things that play a major part in driving that revenue and making sure things happen, but those are things that you can hire for. And I want to give you guys an example of our real estate investing business. So when me and Jern, when we first started investing into real estate, we was doing everything. We was getting the deal under contract. We was dispositioning the deal. We was managing the flips, managing the contractors, managing the closing all the way to the title, managing the sellers. We was all over the place. And there were certain things in our process or certain things in the steps that were critical and important, but those are not things that we should be focusing on, such as ensuring that we continuously, so if we got a deal under contract, you still need to build rapport with the seller until we get to closing. We didn't have to do that. We can hire someone to do that. Once we got that deal under contract, that deal needs to go to the title company so the title company can start their process. That is a repeatable process. That is something that we can have somebody else do. Another thing was ensuring that post-closing was done, meaning, okay, we actually got the papers. We saved all of the files we saved everything regarding that property in that file folder. All of those tasks are things that are important, but those are not things that essentially drive revenue. And those are things that's a non-revenue generating activity that we could got off our plate. And the reason why you want to do that is obviously you want to focus on generating revenue, but you as the business leader should not be doing any task that's repeated over constantly. If it's constantly repeated over and over and over and over, that means you can build a system around it. That means that you could hire somebody to do that job over and train, and you could hire and train somebody to do that job over and over and over again. And that was something that Josh and I, we banged our head against the wall so many times doing these tasks that we should not have been doing. Because I think the problem too is the self-limiting belief that we had. One where we had that thought process of, oh, we can't afford somebody, or it's just, oh, we don't have the time to train them. We don't have the time to train them because we were just running, we were just going. And not by us doing that, we didn't see how that really just held us back and hindered us because we kept spending our time on things that wasn't generating revenue. Yeah. So no, that was a very good point, guys. So the second thing that you gotta avoid doing is consistently focusing on non-revenue generating activities. You gotta get that off your plate if you want to go from zeros to consistently hitting millions per year. And then even before we continue, I want to give people, just because we talked about what repeated tasks are, but let's help people understand what some repeated tasks are that they can get off their plate. Okay. Guys, managing your calendar, that's something that you repeatedly do. You can get that off your plate. Booking travel, that's the same thing. I mean, you can tell it's easy to set up, hey, I only like to sit on the corner or the end seats. I want to sit in the front of the plane. Those are tasks that you can managing your emails. That's another task that you can get off your plate. What else? So doing some bookkeeping work. Bookkeeping work is repeated tasks that somebody can do because, one of the things that we had to learn was we had fix and flips. And every time we fix and flip a house, you have a contractor that goes to Home Depot. And one of the things that we wanted to do was always keep clean books. So because of that, we had to go in, and what we were doing was we were matching expenses to a property address so we can keep clean books. That was something that a VA could do. So, guys, you got to look at your business and ask yourself, what are the tasks that really help me run an organized, good business, but somebody else can help me do this? Are there any other tasks that you could think about that people are probably doing that they can have somebody else do, that way they can free up their time? Nothing that comes off the top of my head, but guys, anything that's tedious that you're doing, like as Jerm just mentioned, those are things that you can quickly hire for. Yeah. So, guys, the next thing that you have to do, another thing that you want to do as you're going from zero to millions of dollars per year consistently in revenue, is you want to hire out the things that you don't like doing or the things that you're not good at. So that's different than removing the NRGAs. The reason why it's different, and when I say you want to hire out the things that you don't like, because in the NRGA situation, I used to like getting properties under contract and staying in contact with the homeowner from the time we got it under contract to closing. But that's a non-revenue generating activity. When I say hire out the things you don't like doing or the things you're not good at, Josh and I, we don't like building systems and processes. We're not good at it. So that is something that we know that we needed to hire out. Because we, as I said in the intro, we hustled our way to millions of dollars of revenue. And when I say hustle, that means we had no systems, no processes. We were just running and making money. And we understood that if we wanted to build a real business that lasts, a real business that gave us freedom, as I said in the intro, we needed to build our systems and processes. But we didn't like that. So we hired somebody to do that for us. And so you need to ask yourself, what are some things that I know that needs to be done, and I don't like doing it, and you can hire somebody to do it for you? No, that's good. And then like Jerm said, that's something that we knew we weren't good at, so we hired for. I want to give you guys a real example of something that we did not like. I mean, that we didn't like doing. That's when it comes to our business. So again, I want to Jerm talked about something we're not good at. We hire for something we're not good at. I want to talk about, or a point I want to make is doing something. We hired a project manager to manage our contractors. If you guys didn't know, our core business, we fix and flip houses. We own a bunch of rental properties, and when you're fixing and flipping houses, you have to manage contractors, you have to manage subs, and that's just something that we just hated doing. It's like you're babysitting. You're babysitting grown kids, and we just hated doing that. So now, because that was something that we disliked in our business, it's something that's needed, but it's something that we dislike doing. We hired for that, and that has allowed us to free up our brain space and helped us not focus on that part of the business, but it's still getting done. Yeah, that helped us become more creative, because man, managing contractors is like herding sheep, boy. It's like they be fighting each other, they be complaining. This person didn't do something that they like, it should have been done different, and it was a moment of silence. Yeah. Woo. It was one of those things, guys. So what's the next thing that somebody needs to do in going from zero to millions of dollars per year in revenue consistently? The next thing I would say is just figuring out what you're good at and going all in on that. And this is something that Jeremy and I had to learn early on. We knew what we were good at, but we didn't hone in on that. We was trying to do everything, and we were all over the place. And now one thing that we understand that helped us go from 0 to millions is, again, locking in and focusing on the things that we're good at and the things that we like doing, and hiring out or partnering out for the things that we're not good at or the things that we don't like doing.
Yeah, so just to give you a more concrete example, a real live present example, in our real estate investment business, as you guys know, we are rebuilding that currently. And from this tip, what I've learned is I don't like managing a sales team. I don't want to meet every day with a sales team. I don't want to hold the sales teams accountable. I don't want to do the training. I don't want to do that, and I'm not good at it. Can I do it? Yes. Did I do it before we generated millions of dollars with me doing it? Yes. But is that something that will allow me to operate at my highest capacity? No. So what allows me to operate at my highest capacity in my real estate investment company that I own with Josh is marketing. That is a sweet spot for me. I love marketing. I love figuring out how we was able to generate leads, how we was able to get people to click on our ads. And that is what I'm going to focus on, because that's what I'm good at. That's what I like. That allows me to be creative. And as far as the sales, which is a huge component of our business, because once we generate the leads, we need somebody on the phone to close them. I'm going to hire a sales leader that can hire, train, fire, manage the sales team while I do what I'm focused on, what I'm good at.
How did you learn that?
Because I got to a point of, I remember every time I had to have a sales meeting, which was every morning when we had a big sales team, I just wasn't excited about meeting with them. I wasn't excited about talking to them. And it's not because they wasn't producing how I wanted them to produce. It was not because they were bad people. They actually were great people. It just didn't give me energy. Yeah. And as we had time to reflect last year, and as we are rebuilding this, we are rebuilding this company from experience, right? And when you're building something or you're doing something from experience, it looks a little bit different. You can make different decisions. And then also kudos to you, because you were saying with the education company, I don't want to go with your example, but you're essentially doing the same thing. You're figuring out who can run sales while you do fulfillment. So just seeing you do it and then realizing man, I think that's the right thing to do for the real estate investment firm. That's how I came up with that decision.
I think people need to understand that, guys, it's okay and you're not going to like every part of your business. There are going to be parts of your business that you cannot stand, parts of your business where you're just I don't want to do this at all. Yeah. And guys, I'm here to tell you that that's okay. There's several parts of our business that I don't like. And that's okay. But I focus on what the point we're trying to drive home to you and help you guys understand is we focus on what we're good at and the things that we want to focus on, and then hire out or partner out for the areas of which we are bad. That we don't like doing.
Yeah. So I want you to touch on more on your example of finding out what you're good at, what you like doing, focusing on that, and then hiring out what you don't like.
So I run our education business. So if you guys don't know, we help people start and grow their real estate investing businesses to consistently and profitably generating deals anywhere in the country. And with us starting this education business, and it was starting from scratch at 0, and we're getting it to 7 figures, multiple 7 figures. And while right now, early on in the business, it was just me doing everything, the sales, the fulfillment, just doing marketing, everything. And as we start growing, as we start generating revenue, I started to see, okay, where do I like spending my time? Where do I get the highest and best? How do I get the highest and best use of my time and highest and best use and return on my effort? And as I started to realize, as I started to see, the different parts of the business, I started to say, I really enjoy fulfillment. I really enjoy talking to our students, helping them overcome any challenges, issues, or struggles that they're having. And that's the part of the business that I fell in love with. And because most people who have a coaching program, they want to hire out the coaching as fast as possible. They don't want to engage and talk to their students. But for us, it's different. I told Jerm, I love fulfillment. I'm going to handle fulfillment. But I wasn't that good at sales. So I brought somebody in, shout out to Aaron, and he's come in and he's helped us take our sales to another level. He's an A player, and he's come in and he's taking something off of my plate. That's a crucial part of the business that I don't like doing, and he's running it. And I'm focusing on what I'm good at and what I like doing, and it's a match made in heaven, and it's helping us get to where we're helping us get the goals that we set.
I really hope you guys are picking up what we putting down, because these are critical steps to helping you consistently produce revenue in the millions every single year. All of this stuff comes directly from our own experience, not from some theory or anything. This is things that we learned, and the millions of dollars in tuition, as I like to call it, that we had to spend to learn this. And the next thing that you got to do that I think is truly, truly important as you go from zero to millions of dollars per year consistently in revenue is you have to leverage technology. You have to leverage technology if you want to build a consistent, predictable business that is generating millions of dollars every single year. And the reason why we know that is because, again, we hustled our way to our first million, our first couple millions, and then we start asking ourselves, how can we make this easier? As in our real estate investment business, hustling our way to $1 million, we had no money. We wasn't even using a CRM system. And we got to millions. Once we implemented a CRM system, that's when the business became a lot better, because we were building a real foundation. We were following up with leads. We were maximizing every lead that came in through our system. So implementing a CRM system and the correct phone system truly helped us understand why you need to leverage technology as you're going from zero to millions of dollars in revenue.
Yeah, I no, that's well said. And guys, understand that these are real life examples that we're giving you. We saw our business do an extra $1 million easily, not spending no more money on marketing once we started leveraging technology. Once we implemented a CRM system, and our core business is not real estate investments, it's sales and marketing at the core of the business. Once we started to understand that, we needed to know once sales is all follow up. Yep. It's rare that you're going to hit a sale and on the first time talking to a customer. So you have to follow up with that customer. And for us, we was not good at following up because we was doing it manually. But again, follow up is something that you can automate, and we did automate it in our business by leveraging technology. And once we did that, guys, hear what I'm saying. We made an extra few $1 million from old leads without having to spend more money.
So you ask yourself, how is that even possible, Joshua and Jeremy, for me to make extra $1 million of revenue without generating more leads? The reason why that's possible is because I want to make sure you guys catch this. It's because we was not following up with leads. So if you're generating leads consistently, how we've been doing in real estate, you are going to have thousands and thousands of leads. And every lead that you generate is not ready to sell as soon as they reach out. So by implementing the CRM system, we put in automatic follow-ups that says, if a lead calls in today and we don't close them, a month from now, they get a text message, a personalized text message. And if they don't respond to that text message, they get another text message a week later. And if they do respond to that text message, our sales guys are able to pick up the conversation without him having to spend energy to do so. So that is how we was able to generate millions of dollars of revenue just by implementing a CRM system, because the system was doing the work for our sales guys.
Yeah. And guys, and let's be clear, like Jeremy and I said earlier, we're not the best with systems and processes. That's not our strong suit. But we brought somebody in to help us focus on that, and now we understand the importance of it. Still not our favorite part of the business, but we understand how it's crucial in helping us grow the business and helping us hit the goals that we set within the business.
Hey, yes. So what's the next thing that people need to remember?
So the next thing that I want you guys to focus on and remember as you're growing and to get to millions is hiring a great CPA and having clean books. Guys, we cannot stress that enough. When we first got started, as Jerm said, we was just hustling, and we had a horrible CPA. We got referred this lady, and this was by somebody who we met in college. Actually, I remember the young lady who introduced it to the CPA in college, and she wasn't a good CPA. She wasn't helping us save on taxes. She wasn't helping us she wasn't helping us do tax strategy for our business. And then also, we wasn't keeping clean books. We knew we was making money, but we didn't know where the money was going. We didn't know how we were spending the money. So we knew we was doing all these deals, but at the end of the year, we were broke. So
you guys definitely want to do that, because now when you have clean books, it allows you to make decisions from data, not from your emotions. It helps you become bankable. which is critical. As you guys can grow your business, you're going to start understanding how critical having clean books are. Because when you go to the bank, they're looking at your tax returns, which is help with your CPA is helping you do, and they are looking at your books for your business. And that helps you get line of credit. That helps you get access to credit cards and other things that you're going to need to grow your business. So make sure that you are really understanding and you take this advice, because clean books help save your life.
One thing that you said was obviously the importance of having clean books, but I want to talk about a real life experience on when it comes to us and when we didn't have clean books. So for us, when you're not managing your books the right way, you're playing defense. And then when you're playing defense, you can't score touchdowns. And for us in our business, we were always playing defense. We was making decisions for our business based on our bank account, right? We're looking at our bank account and saying, you know what, we don't have the money, so we can't make this investment. But if we had clean books, the books tell us a story, and the books will let us know what type of decisions we can and cannot make. You know, 12, 13 years into business, ding dongs, we're finally understanding that. So guys, learn from our mistakes.
Yes. Another thing that you guys need to make sure that you do as you go from zeros to consistently hitting $1 million in revenue every single year is you want to stay lean. You want to stay as lean as possible. You want to avoid rich man syndrome. Rich man syndrome is you get money and you spend money as fast as you make it. Poor money management, right? So, and that was something that Josh and I did. We was like, we making money. Let's spend it. Let's do this. Let's spend money on this. Let's spend money on that. And before you know it, our expenses ballooned like crazy because we just start spending money without really understanding, do we really need that? Without challenging our team and challenging ourselves. Is that something that we really need, or is that something that we really want? And before you know it, we have this fat overhead, and we're taking money out of our pocket, meaning we could be putting some of that money in our pocket if we were paying attention to the money that we were spending. So as you grow, make sure that you don't have rich man syndrome and you stay as lean as possible.
So I want to break down, because I think you did a great job of helping people understand rich man syndrome, but break down what we're talking about when we say stay lean. So guys, when we say stay lean, as you start making more money, you know, your interests change, your taste change. You want a nicer office, you want a bigger office, but do you need those things, right? So we was able to stay in a 1,300 square foot office and make millions from this office. We could have upgraded and went and got the office that was $10,000, $15,000 a month. So that's just one example. Another example of staying lean is not over hiring, right? You want to make sure that you hire at the right time and you hire the right people. Sometimes people start growing, they start scaling, and they just start hiring a bunch of people. And then you hire too many people and your overhead just balloons. And you don't understand how to manage your employee to revenue ratio, meaning every employee in your business should account for a certain amount of revenue that you generate in your business. So each sales guy, right? If I have one sales guy, that sales guy should be responsible for generating $1 million in revenue for the business. So if he's generating $1 million, I'm paying him $200. You guys understand? I hope you guys understand the pictures that I'm trying to draw here. But again, guys, staying lean is important. Because another issue that Jeremy and I made, as he mentioned, was we was making money, but we didn't keep track of how we were spending the money.
Yeah, we did a really poor job of keeping track on spending the money. What's the next thing that people need to know and remember?
The next thing that people need to know and remember is just staying organized. You guys want to stay organized, and as you grow, and especially if you start growing fast, how we grew fast. Things can get disorganized really quick, and when you're not organized and and you don't know what's going on in your business and things are everywhere, it's hard for you to grow, right? You'll have times where, like what we have, a real issue that we have right now. Luckily, Germ does a great job of managing our books, but the IRS are saying that we owe them money from 2019, and we know that we paid them this money thanks to Germ for having the receipt showing that we paid this money. But if we wasn't organized, we would have to send them another check.
Guys, and by no means, Josh and I are very organized. I'm organized on stuff like that. When that boy Uncle Sam come knocking, I want to be ready. Yeah. A lot of other things, and the reason why we came up with this example is because, like, our organizations and our files were a complete mess, a real show. like a real. It was just a cluster mess everywhere, and when it's time to find files, you're spending 15, 20 minutes trying to look for a file, and you're wasting precious time when if you were organized, you could save on that time. So that was another example that I want to share with you guys of staying organized, not only when it comes to like your finances, but just also your paperwork, so that you can have it readily available when you need it and not waste time on trying to find it.
Another real example of staying organized for us is, guys, we were in the process of raising money. We're still in the process of raising money. Yes. And Jeremy, we were putting together a presentation for investors, and we flipped over 130, 140 houses, and we couldn't find a lot of the pictures of the houses that we flipped. It was just, we was just running. And then when we needed these pictures to show investors, we don't know where the pictures are, right? We was only able to find pictures to a few houses. But again, it's just these little things that, hey, if we stayed organized, it would have been easier for us to put together this presentation to raise the money.
Facts, guys. And the very last thing that we wanted to touch on, again, guys, it's way more than what we talked about today, but these are key points that we want you guys to remember as you are working from zero to consistently hit $1 million of revenue. But the very last thing that we want to touch on today is you want to have a mission, vision, and core values. You want to have a mission, vision, and core values. And the reason why you want to have that is it's a reminder. It's your compass on where you're going or where you want to go, and it helps you as you are bringing talent into the organization. Because going from zero to $1 million, it could be you and probably 2 or 3 people, depending on the type of business that you have. But if you want to consistently do it, you're going to have to build out a real team. And the real team wants to know where we're going, the vision, why we're doing what we're doing, the mission, and how we do what we want to do, which is the core values. It's extremely helpful as you continue to bring people, and it's a great recruiting tool when you have your mission, vision, and core values. So that's something that you definitely want to have. Great job breaking that down. And guys, with Jeremy, I hope you guys didn't miss the game that he just gave, because that's something that we didn't take serious for a long time, vision, mission, and core values. But once you start understanding the importance of it, once you start trying to attract and recruit A players, these are things that A players want. They want to know that the vision that they have for their life fits in the vision that you have for the business. They want to know that, okay, the mission is clear. They want to know that this is our standard of doing things, which is your core value. So great job of breaking that down. Yes, guys. So this episode is dedicated to help you learn how to grow a real business that actually lasts and gives you real freedom. And these are some things that we wanted to touch on that we thought were critical in your pursuit to consistently generating millions of dollars every single year. Be on the lookout, because we are going to shoot another episode that helps you understand what you need to do as you're consistently hitting these millions of dollars. How do you continuously do that? The things that you need to do to continuously hit millions of dollars every single year, but also grow past that 7-figure mark into the 8-figure marks.
And as you grow, focusing more on being a profitable business. But I just want to highlight the points that we talked about today. Number one, which is making sure that you guys are focused. Next thing is remove NRGA task ASAP. So NRGA stands for non-revenue generating activities. The next thing that we talked about is hire the thing that you hate doing first, so you can free up your brain space. The next point we talked about was figure out what you're good at and like doing. Try to focus on that as much as possible. The next thing is leveraging technology, guys. You want to add technology as you grow and you scale your business. The next thing we said was managing your books and financing and hiring a great CPA. You want to stay lean as possible. You want to make sure that you stay organized and ensure that you have a vision, mission, and core values.
Yes, guys. Another banger that we dropped today. I'm sure you guys got a lot of gems. These are things that have definitely helped us. Guys, expose somebody else to this episode. Share it with somebody. That's part of our gentleman's agreement. And the reason why we call it our gentleman's agreement, because we can't see you do it. We just know that we're adding a lot of value to you guys, and we want to keep doing that. We put a lot of time and energy and effort into planning out these shows, producing these shows. So help us continue to grow the show. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on the podcast players like Apple or Spotify, hit that follow button. Leave us a 5-star review so that we can continue to grow. Remember, exposure leads to expansion. Expose and expand. Peace.
Expose and expand. Peace.